Last week on GNCC Racing, we went to the Spartan GNCC in Kentucky. It was ruddy, it was tight, it was gnarly, and Juha Salminen put on an incredible come-from-behind effort, just barely holding off the Yamaha teammates of Charlie Mullins and Barry Hawk to win the most exciting race of the year.
Hello and welcome to Racer TV. I'm Rachel Ayers.
And I'm Rodney Smith, 5-time GNCC champion.
We're here at the Wisp Resort in Deep Creek Lake, Maryland. This has always been one of the most unique tracks of the year. We even have a ski lift to ride up and watch the track from.
Yeah, Rachel, definitely. This is one of the best tracks of the year. It's actually a weekend break between the motocross series, and a lot of our major sponsors get to come here and check it out. Like you said, we're sitting on a ski lift. It's a ski resort. There's a lot of fun activities to do here. There's a lake just down the road. You can go water skiing, you can go mountain biking. It's just a great place to be.
This has always been a special track to both of us. Let's head down to Jason and get a better look at the track.
Well, thanks, Rachel and Rodney. Down here at the starting line, I would love to say it's a beautiful day to go racing. Far from it, though. It is raining, and that's a really big problem on this racetrack because we've got big rocks and steep hills already. And on a dry day, this might be the toughest track in the entire circuit. On a muddy day, well, we have no idea. We've never raced here when it rains. It could be impassable. This makes the questions even bigger for the riders who have struggled here in the past, namely Juha Salminen, who finished 7th here last year, by far the worst performance he's ever put in since moving to the United States. We wonder if it's the racetrack that held Juha back this year. We'll find out. Can he tame it? What about everyone else? It's anyone's race. Before we go racing, let's check out our Scott USA helmet cam. All right, here's how it looks before it rained. You can see with this trail here, you see a little bit of those rocks underneath the ground. That's the black, shiny spots. That's only going to get worse as the day goes on because the riders will dig out all the dirt around those rocks, and then basically you won't be riding on dirt at all. You'll basically be riding on a trail entirely made of stone. Now, when you throw rain on top of that, that stone gets very, very slippery. And of course, we have huge hill climbs because it's a ski resort, and hills are pretty much a requirement there. So basically, this is about as tough as it gets in cross-country racing. But we have the toughest riders in the world ready to take this course on. Juha Salminen, probably the best of them all, 10-time world champ, defending GNCC champ, and your points leader. But Barry Hawk has won here at the Wisp twice, including last year. He knows his way around this place for sure. And Charlie Mullins, it's a broken record. We say it every week. We are waiting and waiting for Charlie to get his first GNCC win. It's only a matter of time. Same thing for Glenn Kearney, 4th in points. Unfortunately, Glenn admits he's not a mud specialist. With the rain today, well, he's going to have to learn how to figure it out real quick. Now, we do have a mud specialist on hand, but for the motocross side, John Dowd, former Supercross champ, is racing GNCC.
You know, rain's fun. I mean, it's once you get all dirty and muddy, it's kind of fun to be out there slopping around. So I have no idea. I mean, I've never raced one of these. I've never even raced like a local one or anything. So I'm hoping to finish first of all, and then you know, hopefully I can get a decent start. Maybe just try to latch on to one of these guys, you know, one of the faster guys, and just try to see what they're doing.
But here's what they're doing first, John. They're starting, and we're underway here at the Wisp. A couple of sharp uphills and downhills to start this thing off, and it is muddy too. Jimmy Jarrett got into the early lead, but Mullins able to knife underneath him. He will get our whole shot award. And look at how muddy it is. It's been raining all night, all morning, all afternoon now. That was Glenn Kearney who went down to the inside, so Glenn is going to have another long day at the office here in the mud. And pretty much everyone except Mullins, who's roosting all these guys right now, has got a long day in front of them. Let's look at the RacerX whole shot. Jimmy Jarrett on the outside, a lightning fast starter of the Andrew Suzuki. He has the lead going into the first turn. Mullins going to tuck to the inside. By the time they come out of it, he will have the #1 spot, and hence he gets actually the RacerX whole shot award and $100. But this didn't take long. Juha Salminen already into the lead and already trying to pull away. That's the way he used to do it the last couple races, though. There's been a challenge. Today, the challenge comes from Jimmy Jarrett.
I don't know if I look forward to it, but I think it's going to be a good day. It's going to be tough, rough, and you know, water and rocks don't mix very good, so we'll see.
Well, so far, so good. Now, actually seeing will be one of the problems out here. Vision is going to be very, very difficult. Look at how covered these guys are, and that's why Juha, well, his skills at sprinting early in the race make it very, very easy to get out front and get clear vision. Even our camera has a little bit of water on it at this point. And there's Jarrett, man. That guy has got so much talent, just walking the bike through there, up on the pegs. Even Mullins has to dab quite a bit. Jarrett is just a phenomenal rider, and I think I already saw the goggles around the handlebars of our 4th place rider, Nate Kearney. He's already lost his vision. Justin Williamson, and there's John Dowd. Not a bad start for Dowd, but a terrible start for Barry Hawk. who's the only other rider besides Juha to win a race this year, and he's the winner of the race last year, but he's got a lot of ground to make up early. Juha pulling away. There's Mullins in second, and Nate Kearney is now moving to third, but like we said, those goggles hanging around the bars, those things are already toast. Barry Hawk has now moved into fourth, but he's got a long way to go. Jarrett now back at the number 5 position, and these guys are just covered, and you see the bikes being shaken around, or shook around like that, whatever the term is. The bottom line is there are rocks underneath all this mud, and when the bike bounces around like that, you tend to make mistakes. All right, Robbie Jenks, he's making his own trails out of here. Robbie on the factory KTM, he caught one of those rocks. It's hard to see them when they're covered in water, and Robbie just figured, hey man, I'm not going to pull this 200-pound motorcycle backwards. I'm just going to keep on keeping on, and he grabs a handful of throttle and just makes his own trail. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. It's Racer TV on OLN, brought to you by Suzuki, ITP, Rocky Mountain, Moose, Yamaha, and Polaris. Juha Salminen continuing the lead. It's the Parts Unlimited Wisp GNCC. Water and mud everywhere. Combine that with off camber, some slippery dirt, some big rocks, some hills. It is a challenging day. Nate Kearney right now in third. Charlie Mullins already came by. He's in the number 2 spot. And Barry Hawk on the charge now has moved into fourth. But Barry also is goggleless at this point. And there's so much water being splashed up to these puddles. The riders, well, vision is just a complete disaster out here. And if you get behind somebody and try to pass them and get roosted, you're in really big trouble. There's Justin Williamson in 6th. John Dowd, the motocrosser, is in the number 7 spot. Good start for John Dowd. Robbie Jenks, who we saw run into a tree earlier, is in 8th. Back to our leader, Juha. This is the Suzuki Special Test. This is actually the half pipe that gets filled with snow for snowboarders in the winter. Right now, well, they just filled it with mud, and that's pretty much all caused by Mother Nature. Nate Kearney coming through in 3rd. Here's Hawk coming through in 4th. If you look closely, you can see rain continues to fall here. This is going to be a very tough day. Look at Jarrett trying to stay dry. And good job, man. He did not dab a foot, keeping the boots dry. That's the other way to do it. If you're John Dowd, the goggles are already gone. You might as well go through that section hard. Juha through the pits. A much better performance so far for Juha compared to 2005, which is a disastrous ride for the GNCC champ. And I'm kind of surprised here on lap 2 that Charlie Mullins has already come into the pits. Well, he's got to get goggles. He might as well take gasoline as well. They didn't do such a good job getting those goggles on right. Not exactly in hot pursuit. I think everyone realizes this is going to be a survival race today. Kearney just blew through his pits, did not take on goggles, even though he doesn't have any on right now. Let's see what Barry Hawk does. They try to clean him off. Yeah, see, oh wait, they just lost the goggles. All right, this is a very difficult day. They're trying to pull the gloves off now. They're trying to clean his hands because they're covered. It actually came right through the gloves. The mud came right through the gloves. How much time can you spend in the pits? Now, Barry will be the first to tell you on a muddy day like this, it really doesn't matter. 30 seconds extra in the pits can make the day go by so much quicker out on the track. And you can see Barry is in no rush to get in and out of there. And we'll see if that pays off later. Now, Dowd, he has no idea how to play it. He's never done this before. He's never pitted. He's never stopped for fresh goggles. Probably never ridden on pavement like we have out here at the Wisp in the pit area. So goggles will be a huge factor out here. We'll see if Hawk, taking that extra time to get gloves as well, is going to pay off. Right now, though, it's Salminen leading Mullins. And this has been the way it's been the last couple of races. Yes, Juha able to get into the early lead, but he's not able to put those monster 1- and 2-minute gaps on these guys like he was earlier in the year. Nate Kearney still running very strong in 3rd, Hawk in 4th. Got to give credit to Nate Dogg. He runs very well in the technical conditions. He likes mud, he likes rocks. Obviously, he's doing very well today. Let's go to our Rocky Mountain tip of the week.
Hello, I'm William Yoakley, Pro ATV GNCC racer, and I'm here this week with the Rocky Mountain Rider Tip of the Week. This week's tip of the week is protection. We wear a lot of protective gear on our bodies, and one of the more critical ones is the chest protector. I like to wear the ProFlex chest protectors because it offers a unique design that features fully adjustable shoulders, the front panel and rear panel to allow for the perfect fit. The arm guards offer maximum roost deflection and are also removable. These chest protectors are available in clear black, red, blue, yellow, and orange. Another really important piece of safety equipment that we wear on our bodies are knee and shin guards. The ARC Pro Flex knee and shin guard is a high-impact plastic knee and shin guard that offers full coverage protection even above the knee. It features a pivoting hinge for ultimate protection and comfort, and has biofoam padding with air channels to allow for ventilation, and is fully adjustable and padded strap. You can find these and other great ARC products at RockyMountainATVMC.com.
Racer TV on OLN, brought to you by Suzuki, ITP, Rocky Mountain Moose, Yamaha, and Polaris. It's the Parts Unlimited Wisp GNCC, the toughest, the most prestigious race on this 13-race national tour. Right now, the champion, Juha Salminen's leading. He's got Charlie Mullins right behind him, Nate Kearney in third. We did have Barry Hawk in fourth. Is Barry still there? Yes, he is. Look at how nasty this is, man. This is like riding through a jungle. And keep in mind, this is a ski resort. There is no open trail riding. There are no other off-road races of any kind through here. So these trails, well, they are not wide open. They have not been carved in. The chase continues for Juha. Again, he's under pressure. Remember, last year, a tough race for Juha. He finished 7th. It was one of his roughest races of the year. And he's obviously gotten the bike working a lot better on the rocks. We talked to him and his mechanic before the race. They made a lot of changes to the suspension and also to the tires to try to make the bike work a little better on these huge rocks. They had heard last year the rocks were big. They didn't exactly believe it until they were in the middle of the race, and obviously by then it's a little too late. Now they know, and so far so good. Juha using his tremendous balance, able to stand up through the slippery mud conditions and not worried at all. Which rider is this coming through? I think that's Kearney actually coming through. Yes, it is. And I think that's Hawk right behind him. No, that's Mullins, actually. And now Mullins is back in the pits. Mullins looking over his shoulder before. What is the problem? We have a report it might be brakes. Let's see.
He was saying that he lost his brakes. I don't know if he's bent his rotor, and then they got air in his brakes, so we bled him. Lost a little bit of time. I think he's probably back to 4th or 5th.
All right, well, disaster has struck from Mullins. It looked like he was content to just follow Juha and learn. But he's back in the pack right now, and if he can't get those brakes fixed completely, well, there's no way you're going to catch up because these downhills are steep. Look at how nasty this track is, man. Ice and rocks combined. You know, when you get ice in your drinks, they call it on the rocks. I guess that's exactly what we're doing out here at the Wisp. Kearney able to make his way over that big log there. That's actually one of the few non-rocky parts of the track. What? Barry Hawk is taking the lead. Barry Hawk is in the lead somewhere. Juha Salminen must have made a mistake. We saw Barry looking a lot more aggressive lately. It has paid off. Can Nate Kearney go with those guys? I cannot believe Hawk, who was about 8th when the field first started sorting itself out, has taken the lead. Let's go to the track.
We're at the halfway point here at the Wisp, and it looks like back brakes is going to be the problem of the day, Rodney.
Yeah, we're only at the halfway point. Mullins has already came in with an issue with the rear brakes. We've never ridden here before in the mud, and it's gritty. It's wearing out the brake pads twice as fast as ever before, and we got a lot of laps left to go, so the guys are going to continue to have problems.
If you were forced to ride without front or back brakes, how difficult would it be here today?
Well, being at a ski resort area, these hills are steep, so it's slippery out there, it's raining. It's going to be hard to keep up that same pace without a rear brake, and you're going to start using that front brake a whole lot more, and it too could wear out just as quick.
Well, rainy days have always been interesting, and we know anything could happen from here.
Oh, anything can happen. It just happened again. Juha's taking the lead back from Barry Hawk. So a temporary charge for Hawk. Sprinted all the way into the #1 spot, but he must have made a similar error to what Juha made, and that allowed him to drop back to 2nd. Here comes Kearney through in the #3 spot. Great ride for the young privateer out of New York State. Here comes Charlie Mullins. He's in 4th. He looks fairly strong. Maybe they got those brakes fixed. And Jimmy Jarrett's not going anywhere, man. He's been in the top 5 week after week, and he's right in there right now. I want to give a call out to the 19-year-old Justin Williamson, running in 6th. He is learning this trade pretty darn quickly. Battle for the lead is on. Barry Hawk is staying close to Juha, probably trying to stay just far enough back not to get roosted and lose his goggles. We see Kearney has lost a pair of goggles. They're on the bar again. Everything being pushed to the limits. Let's go to our KTM Product Spotlight.
I'm here with off-road racing legend Jack Penton in this week's KTM Product Spotlight. And you know KTM has always been known ready to race. That is their slogan. And Jack, what makes KTM's ready to race?
Well, there's a lot that goes into that. For 35 years, we've designed motorcycles with what we feel has the best features and also the best designs on the motorcycle. And today we want to talk about a couple of those designs that we brought to off-road racing. One of them is the hydraulic clutch. The hydraulic clutch is not not unique to motorcycles, but it was very unique to off-road motorcycles. And we put this hydraulic clutch on here so that the guy can ride a 2-hour hare scramble or one of these 3-hour GNCCs and have the same feel in the clutch and the same nice light pull the whole time. There's no adjustment with this clutch, and it's very, very reliable. We're very proud of the fact that we are the only manufacturer out here that is putting that on the bikes. That's what keeps us one step ahead of the competition, is bringing those designs to these riders out here. We want to be the first ones to let those riders ride those bikes with those great features.
And that's this week's KTM Product Spotlight.
Racer TV on OLN. Welcome back, folks. Brought to you by Suzuki, ITP, Rocky Mountain, Moose, Yamaha, and Polaris. Parts Unlimited, Wisp, GNCC. Probably the worst conditions will race in all year long. And Juha Salminen and Barry Hawk, it doesn't seem to matter what the conditions are like. Those two run 1-2 week after week after week. Nate Kearney is third, but he goes down. A quick tumble there for Kearney. Some riders getting by. They're actually riders in other classes. No, wait, I think that's John Dowd who just went by. Dowd was moved into third. Amazing rider. A motocrosser has never raced an off-road race like this before and suddenly finds himself in the podium position. And suddenly Barry Hawk is in the lead again. Who can keep up with the ever-changing leaderboard out here? Who is this managing to work his way through? I think that is Nate Kearney into the pits. I can barely tell. It's either a 14 or a 4. They're both on Yamahas. Hey, there's Glenn Kearney. I haven't seen him since he went down in turn number 2. Glenn never gives up. I'll give the guy credit for that. Here comes Mullins. So that was Kearney earlier, and Mullins has no brakes. Look, he's running the Fred Flintstone machine routine, sticking his legs out, just trying to stop that bike. The brakes have been toasted out here, and the reasoning is pretty simple. These rocks and this mud, it just keeps grinding on your brake pads, and eventually it goes down to nothing. So we'll see. Hawk and Salminen continue to go to war out there on the racetrack, but do those machines, do they have brake pads left? Do they get to do damage to other things? Will they have enough goggles left? How much battling can they do? Looks, in fact, like Hawk is pulled away from Juha just a tad. Now Juha can't see Hawk. Probably can't see anything at this point. John Dowd has now come through, and here comes Kearney, still in 4th. He's a tall guy, as we mentioned. He can get through those sections fairly easily. Can dab those long legs if he needs to. And here's Kearney, great ride for him from way back in the pack to 5th. And Justin Williamson right behind him. Barry checking into another checkpoint. They give him the high sign. He continues to roll. There's something about the rocks out here at the Wisp that really lends itself to the style of Barry Hawk. He dominated here last year. He's trying to do it again here in 06. Barry, I think, just took a trip to the car wash. He just cleaned that bike off. Obviously hit a big water hole somewhere, and he's beginning to pull away from Juha. Unbelievable what he's been able to do. Rarely do you see this happen to Juha Salminen. He actually got run down, and so far Hawk's controlling this race. And John Dowd, what a performance by this guy. Go, John! John Dowd moving into a podium position. We know he's fast in the mud, and he's learning his lessons in GNCC pretty quick. Within 3 laps, he's pretty much figured this game out. Now that Dowd's in a podium position, I don't think he's satisfied. We talked to the Suzuki people earlier, and they said, well, we've only got one more thing to tell you to do. You figured the rest out. Now all you got to do is go out and win the race. I don't think John Dowd is quite out of being able to do that either. Well, here we go. Meanwhile, Charlie Mullins is out, at least for the moment, continuing to discuss brake problems on that bike. They've tried everything. They've bled the brakes. They put in new pads, a whole new caliper. Just all kinds of problems for Charlie Mullins. He's just trying to salvage points. Meanwhile, fresh goggles for Barry Hawk. And remember earlier in this race, we saw Hawk taking his sweet time through the pits. Well, it didn't affect him now. Everything's going right. He's in the lead. And, well, he's said it over and over. You can take a few extra seconds through those sections. You got to be patient. He has enough experience to know that a little time in the pits pays off huge out here in the woods. Juha still with a great ride, going in 2nd place. He said his goal was to just do better than last year. He is way ahead of where he was last year, although you know he's a competitor and he'd like to win this thing. But don't slow down too much, Juha, because John Dowd continues to charge. This guy is 41 years old, but he is just ageless. On the motocross track, the same thing, man. He will wear people out. And we'll see, though, 3 hours is a lot different than a 30-minute moto on the motocross side. Right now, Hawk continuing to lead. There is Juha picking his way through, not dabbing. Oh, almost had to get off the motorcycle at that part. Very rarely do you see any portion of the track gnarly enough to make Yuha dab. Now you see Dowd, he's just sitting down through there, dabbing feet, whatever it takes. It's not about being pretty. That dab went out the door as soon as it started raining this morning. Hawk working his way back toward the finish one more time. Checkered flag is coming out. The drama is over, folks. They got what they wanted to see. Barry Hawk is headed for home, and he has won it. Barry Hawk has won the Wisp GNCC, and this might go down as one of the gnarliest races of all time. And maybe it's fitting that the rider who has raced in so many gnarly ones romped home the winner. Great ride for Barry Hawk, taking the win in front of a big crowd out here. And you know what? He lives close by. There's a lot of Barry Hawk fans happy about that. Hawk now clearly in the number 2 spot in points due to the problems suffered by his teammate, Charlie Mullins. And Yuha continues to dominate. Let's turn it back over.
Here we are at the conclusion of the Wisp GNCC 2006. We had a lot of rain, a lot of mud, and a lot of action, Rodney.
Yeah, definitely. This was a hard race today. With the rain, it made it even more tougher than what it usually is. In the last 2-3 races, we've been seeing Barry Hawk and Charlie Mullins running up front with Yuha Salomon, and today Barry got up there and pulled away and had a good race. He deserved it today.
Also, congratulations to Justin Williamson, who got 3rd for the first time ever.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good, hard race for him. He got up there and got 3rd place. And John Dowd on the Suzuki also got up there. It was his first GNCC ever, and it was a tough one. He got 4th.
We didn't see Charlie Mullins up on the podium, which was very unusual.
Yeah, definitely. With a race like this, he had some brake problems earlier. After that, I'm not quite sure what happened, but anything can happen in mud races like this. And of course, it definitely was brutal.
Well, we had a hard track today, but a lot of fun. We'll see you next week on Racer TV.
Thanks a lot, Rachel and Rodney. We didn't get an interview with Barry Hawk. Why? Because he decided to go swimming. That's the best way to get your gear clean after 3 hours in the mud. He jumped into the lake. We'll see you next week on GNCC Racing. Thanks for watching.
The Grand National Cross Country Championship is sanctioned by the American Motorcyclist Association. Rights, Riding, Racing. AMA. Join now.